for Matthew Clark, born in South Yorkshire, the captain of Rotherham United, and he makes the walk up the stairs and along the royal box, and Matthew Clark will receive from Jeff Hurst the auto windscreen shield won by Rotherham United. It's taken over 100 years in doing, but they have a trophy to cheer.
I like it. Mick, as a fan, leading up to the week, let's go move to the week of Mick. What's the buzz and the excitement as a fan? I've been there as a fan, but that week, the first ever trip to Wembley for Rotherham United.
Yeah, I mean we've obviously been together to the last two Wembley finals, and obviously you know what the buzz was like before that. This was tenfold for me because it was the first time. It was the first time that I'd ever been to Wembley. It was the first time my club had ever been to Wembley, and it was massive. And I don't know how many tickets we sold, but the rumour is around about 20,000. I mean, we're getting 2,500, 3,000 down at Millmore. You know what I mean? And to go and walk out into that stadium, into Wembley Stadium, and see virtually half of it full of red and white, full of Rotherham United shirts, it almost brought a tear to your eye. It genuinely did, you know what I mean? Because it had been, I don't know, I was going to say because it had been so long. It hadn't been so long. It had been never, had it? You know what I mean? And it was very, very special. Yeah.
Neil, what the build-up, the travel down to Wembley? Just talk us through the day before the game. What was the build like between the players? What was the atmosphere? What were the managers like? So in that very, very period leading up to the game.
What they did absolutely brilliantly. They just took so much pressure off us. I think we wwent down 2 days before, didn't we? We stopped at Burnham Beaches, and we had a bit of a daft training session on the night when we got there. No shake, nothing like that. Just a bit of a daft training session just to enjoy it. And they just took. It was so relaxed. It was untrue. It really, you wouldn't think we were going to our first final. This is the way I see it. You wouldn't think we were going to the first final.
It was an experience for us, wasn't it, lads? You know what I mean? We were going to a traditional FA Cup final hotel. Burnham Beaches is used by a FA Cup finalist team on Cup final day. We were staying there. We went and trained at Bisham Abbey, the old England headquarters. And we, just to see, England train here, we're training here today. And even then in the training session, but you remember, nothing was mentioned about the teams and nothing, was it? No shape, no nothing.
No one knew who was playing. No one knew who was playing. I honestly thought the following day, because the following day, which would be the Saturday, would be like a normal Friday, and I thought we might go through one or two. But we didn't even train on the Saturday.
We didn't train the Saturday. They took us to Chelsea v Leeds.
Yeah. I think Archie and John just said to us, "Look, be in the foyer for whatever time. We're going to go and watch Chelsea against Leeds, and we're going to go for something to eat afterwards." So we went to watch Chelsea and Leeds, and we all sat there with our tracksuits on, didn't we? And we actually watched Ruud Gullit with an absolute masterclass, didn't he?
Yeah,
he was unbelievable. He absolutely
Paul John Lucas had a nightmare.
He tore strips off Carlton Palmer. Carlton Palmer didn't know his arse from his elbow, did he? I mean, Ruud Gullit was all over the place. He was absolutely brilliant. And we're watching this thinking, bloody hell, we've got a cup final tomorrow. You know what I mean? It was just so relaxed.
And can you remember as well? We didn't actually go for something to eat, if you remember.
No, we went straight down the pitches.
We walked down the King's Road, and we took us to the pitches to watch Train Spotting.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And you know the scene in Train Spotting, the famous one with Archie Gemmill, the goal. It was
He didn't know about it though, did he? He hadn't seen the film, so he didn't know about it. No. And when it came up, he kind of like sunk in his seat, like his head just buried in his seat. John, I spoke to John afterwards, and he said he went bright red. Now Archie didn't do that. Archie never done that. He was, but it was. We were walking down King's Road, as Ross said, in tracksuits, in really Rotherham United tracksuits, and everyone else is like dressed to the nines in Kings Road, one of the most fashionable places in the world. But it was just so relaxed.
Did he take us for a after?
So again,
Did he take us for a pint afterwards?
I think that was compulsory, mate.
Did we go for a pint afterwards?
Yeah, he did when we came out of the cinema.
Yeah.
You know, they just,
He did. I remember.
and that harks back to what Butch was saying there. You know, they just took the pressure totally off us. It was like, you know, don't think about it. The only thing we had to think about was, are you playing or not? And then if you are playing, well, here's the plan. This is what we're going to do.
When did you find out? When did you find out what the team was? How close to game day or game
That was
day?
before kick-off in Wembley changing rooms.
Did you?
Yeah.
In the changes, you name the team.
It was like that, wasn't it? It was so laid back. It was like, okay, well, we'll go and play now then, shall we? And there was no tactics. It was just, go on, lads, I trust you. Go and play.
Trev, remember that conversation me and you had on the pitch?
God, I can't even remember when I signed Rusk.
we were in the lineup when just before the game, and it was absolutely bouncing. It was like just short of 40,000 there, and I turned to you and I went, "Can you imagine what this place is going to be like in the summer? England v Scotland."
Yeah. God, was that the same year?
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah,
96. Yeah, Euro 96. Yeah.
I think Gemmo's second goal was slightly better than Gazza's, though, wasn't it?
Just well, Gemmo always says that.
Yeah. Oh, that was a tough finish. That was a really difficult finish. I don't know how he managed to put that away.
It was the through ball, though, Mick. Did you not notice the through ball, the hoof forward?
Yeah.
I put that much spin on it. It went round the centre half and spun around the goalkeeper.
Did you get an assist for that?
Don't look.
Go on, mate.
I was saying, can you remember Archie was saying he requested the away dressing room as well?
I remember that, mate.
Yeah, he was saying, I've played here with Scotland and never lost.
Right.
So that's why I've requested the away dressing room. And then the big bath at the end. Remember he said I'm gonna do my usual.
He dove in the bath at the end, didn't he?
Dove in the bath, got on the top and said, I do this every time here. Got up, dived head first into the bath. Well, he was only 4'3", wasn't he? So he's not going to bang his head. They're just little things that come back to you, you know, when you remember in the day and you like cherry picking certain stuff from it.
Yeah.
Ross, do you remember much from the game, though? The actual game itself. Do you remember much from it?
No, not really. No, it was all about keep your shape, keep going, go here, stay there. You know, it was like, I don't even remember much of the crowd, if I'm being totally honest. You know, you're so focused on the game plan that you've been given that, you know, I don't know if you and Trevor are ever like that. When you're in a game like that, time flies by. You're not looking at the. I do remember looking at the referee and asking him how long when they got their goal. And you know, we
I just thought we were. I'll be honest. I thought we were really, really controlled, and I thought we were well organised. And I having watched it back a few times on video as well, I was amazed how well we played.
Yeah,
there was some real quality. I've watched it back again, and it surprised me. And not in a, I don't mean that in a sort of a bad way. It surprised me, the quality of the game. I don't remember it. I don't remember much of it, to be honest. I remember 2 goals. I know we scored twice. You know what I mean? That's my memory of it.
If you think back, Mick, how many saves did Matt Clark make? He didn't hardly have anything to do, really, did he?
No, absolutely.
Because the team was so well organised, and it was quite easy, to be fair, for myself and Breck at the back. We felt really comfortable, you know what I mean? And because everyone else done their job, and it was probably as good a performance as you'll probably have from our level. Yeah,
definitely. It was a higher level performance for me. You know, some of the moves, some of the breaks, as we talked about earlier on. You know, hitting teams on the break and the break they were fantastic. Our pace and just it really caused them all sorts of problems. We had the pace on down both sides, didn't we? Yeah. And we had pace up front with Goats. But then what we had on top of that was Gemmill was just so clever. Gemmill was just so clever. He wasn't quick or anything like that. He was quick in thought. But his movement wasn't necessarily quick, and he just seemed to know exactly where to stand.
Yeah.
And it was a great foil for the wide lads, because they always knew where he was, and it was a great foil for Goats, to be fair.
And the thing is, as well, I don't know if Trevor found this. What I always found out with Gemmo, because we're talking about the Wembley stuff, but the same with gloves. When you cut in and you play the ball into that front man, i.e., he's received that. It's stuck, and you can always build from that. Your midfield runners and your other wide man have got license to go, because they know he's not going to give that ball away.
I think that's a Forest thing, Ross, because that's one of the things that Archie used to absolutely drum into to Goats when he first went. And you think when he was playing with his back to goal, it sticks, because if it didn't stick, he was onto him, and Gloves was brilliant at it, and Gemmo was brilliant at it.
Yeah.
And so you guys both as wide players knew once you played it in, you could make the forward run beyond them, and you get it back.
Yeah. You had the likes of Raggy, and later Tomo. They put it on a sixpence in front. He wouldn't have to break stride.
Yeah.
They were just saying, Trevor, that go on. Sorry.
Yeah, we didn't do any substitutions, did we?
No.
Yeah.
That to me again is the trust that Archie and John showed in you. Because now you'll see managers change to waste a bit of time and things like that. They thought, no, they'll be fine. Let them see it out. Let them do it, and they'll do the job. And I think that's the trust.
It was Gary Boyer and John McGlashan, God rest. It was those two. And who was the third one?
It was Andy Hayward, was it?
Andy Hayward won it.
Andy Hayward, yeah.
Andy
Hayward.
Yeah.
They were just saying,
you're right.
Go on.
So sorry, go on, Matt.
When you did talk about it, they were just saying that these two don't really remember much of the game itself. Coming out of the crowd and the game itself. What are your memories of the game of the 90 minutes?
Well, the first 2 minutes when I got the ball with the left back went through the back of me, and I went about 10 foot up in the air. I remember that, but it was always good. I was an unusual. If I got kicked, it actually woke me up for the game. So it's probably a good thing it happened. Remember that, and I remember missing. I cut in on my left foot off, and I hit a shot from 20 yards, and it must have gone about 100 foot over the bar. And I always remember thinking that was my chance. No, I don't. I do. That's the only two things I remember of the game. You can get. I've watched it back on the highlights on YouTube, and I think remember that, but you don't. You're watching it on YouTube. They're the only. At the end of the game, I can remember just the joy at the end and the relief. But during the game, only those two bits.
Interesting.
At the end of the game, I remember falling flat on my backside and just lying there thinking, "What the hell have we done?" I was on my back. I was virtually crying, thinking, "What the hell have we done?" I just couldn't. I couldn't believe we as a group had played at Wembley and actually won. I mean, we were just happy to play there, but we thought, yeah, we're here, so we may as well win it.
I thought you fell flat on the back when they scored.
I did that as well, mate.
Listen, that challenge is still. That challenge was so late. He's still doing it.
He's still got the dirt on his jersey.
I just wanted to make it more interesting, Mick. You know what I mean? 2-0's too easy, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. But
going back to remembering stuff. As I say, like the game, it passes you by in a blink of an eye. The game, especially when you're playing well and you're playing quick. When you're getting battered, it's an age. Do you know what I mean? But on that day, what I do remember vividly was we had the tunnel end fans, and also when our coach came round to come through into the tunnel, it was just a sea of red and white outside the tunnel, waiting to greet the coach. And that's when my bottle went a bit. I was like, oh my God, this is real. This is right. You got to get your game head on now.
You actually dropped your cards then, Roscoe. I could see your hand, and you lost that hand. It's lost dead right there. As soon as we got, I think we got to about a mile outside Wembley, and all of a sudden you started seeing bits of red and white, and you get to the tunnel, and then you think, wow, this. There
must have been no word of a lie, Butch. No word of a lie, Butch. There must have been over 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 fans outside that waiting for the coach to arrive.
Easy, mate. Easy. There was more. I think there was more than that, mate, because Wembley's a big place. Wembley's a big place, and that was covered. That was covered, and they all had the flags, and they all had the silly hats and the wigs and things like that. Yeah. And it was just. You're dead right. I was trying to relax, and I sat up on the bus and looked, and I thought, Jesus Christ, look at that lot.
Yeah.
Rotherham, the town centre must have been empty.
Yeah, and that was it. Then you know what I mean. We came out. We were being called to the kickoff. We walked out of that tunnel, and that roar that went up, like the hairs on the back of my head just like stood up on end. So God knows what it done to the Shrewsbury players as they were walking out that tunnel.
I had three coaches come from my village where I grew up in Haslemere in Surrey. There was 60 people from Haslemere come up to watch the game. Yeah,
crazy.
To be fair, mate, I had all my family from the northeast. They all went as well. I mean, it was because as you say, because we were like League One, League Two players. We probably might never ever play at Wembley again, and we didn't. And I didn't. I know that, but it was always going to be special.
Yeah. I think everyone in that squad had a charabanc coming from whatever town they were from, full of family, friends. The whole, not just the Rotherham. There was coach loads from Liverpool as well. It was like crazy. I managed to actually see my uncle at the tunnel end on after the match, and it was crazy.
Yeah, it was great. It was a great day.
I remember talking. I don't think you remember, guys. You can remember talking to John Helm before the game because John was doing it for for the television, wasn't he? And John was there doing like with a microphone, and it's like all of a sudden you're kind of in the limelight, and John's talking to you, and even that was relaxed. You know what I mean? It was everyone who took part made it relaxed.
Can you remember whose house did we all go back to and watch the rerun? Was that yours, Trevor, or was it in the house that we were renting?
No, actually, it was mine. It was my house. It was my house.
He's a bit forgetful, Trevor, as you can tell.
Yeah. Yeah. If you'd have known me back then, you'd know why.
Yeah, we all went back, didn't we? All watched it. We all had a beer. Do you know what I mean? We'd had plenty of beers on the bus on the way back. Remember getting mobbed at Millmore when we got off the bus?
Yeah,
yeah,
that was unbelievable. That was.
Did we not go in the Tivoli for when we got back? No,
went to the Millmore, mate. Went in the Millmore.
Went to the Millmore.
Millmore, yeah.
That was the norm, wasn't it? After away games, if we'd done well, we generally went in there. To be fair, and the place was. I mean, it wasn't the biggest of places anyway, was it? No. There must have been 1,000 people in there as well. And I'll be honest, I'm not tight, but I don't think I bought a drink that night.
That doesn't surprise me. If you had to.
You know when Ross said it was the fastest you ever seen run, it's only when it's your round.
Oh, that's a bit harsh. Yeah. That's a bit harsh.
No, it is hard.
True,
True
but harsh. True, but harsh.
Yeah, no.
Well,
Sorry, Matt. Go.
no, I was going to say back to the Wembley, walking up those steps to get it again. That must be something else that I assume just sticks in your mind. And it just, though again, Wembley's legendary, but to go up the steps of Wembley means you've won it and done well.
Exactly. Do you know what I mean? We've grew up with the FA Cup, and that's up the steps to get the trophy. 39 steps, I believe. Is that right?
I don't know. It's more now, I think.
I think there's a lift involved now, isn't there? And an executive bar and everything. Right. But it's walking up, and I remember clear as day, there was like brass little feet in the concrete. With, as if you forget to walk, it is where you should be putting your feet. And to think back at the history of the type of players that have gone up them steps as a winner. Okay, we're in a League One, League Two cup competition, but it's our cup final. It's our cup final. We're going up as winners. It'd have been absolutely awful going up there as a loser.
Yeah,
it would have.
Yeah,
I remember getting to the top. I remember getting to the top, and I just seen the chairman and the chairman's wife, and I gave the chairman's wife a massive hug. God bless her. And I mean, it was a lot of it was just relief, but it was great to see them, and it must have been special for them to sit in the Royal Box and watch their hometown team do that. Like, you know what I mean? Imagine the pride they must have had. Yeah. It must have been.
Yeah.
I mean, you had the chairman and the chairman's wife. You had Ron Hull and his missus. You had Carl Lucock and his missus, and all the directors were all there, and they were sitting there in the Royal Box watching their hometown team.
Yeah,
win at Wembley.
Yeah, no, I was third in the line going up. I got a cap off one of the fans, and I can remember going along. Jeff Hurst, wasn't it? Jeff Hurst presented it, didn't he? Yeah. And I can remember I can remember lifting the trophy. I think it might have been with you, Roscoe. It might have been Clarkey. I'm not sure. I just stayed still for about. I'm usually quite, if I get nervous or whatever, I joke and stuff. But I can remember about 5 seconds I stood there with it, just looking across Wembley. That you're talking about memories, Matt, about the game and about everything else. That is my clear memory that I remember, is up there looking across the whole pitch, holding onto the trophy. For me,
yeah. Like I kind of looked to the left where all the Rotherham fans were, and I remember. I just thought, I couldn't believe I was there. Like, I thought, wow, I'm here. All the Rotherham fans are off to the left, and the noise was unbelievable. The noise that was coming from them was unbelievable, and it was
deafening, wasn't it? It was absolutely deafening.
I honestly think a lot of them didn't know what to do because they just hadn't been there before, and it was a case of, well, what do we do now? And I feel pretty much similar. I think, what do I do now? And it's a case of, as Trevor said, that just take it all in. Try and take as much in now as you can.
Yeah. Going back to that trophy, Trevor.
Yeah.
And Butch. Yeah. How heavy was that trophy?
Massive.
Yeah, it was heavy.
It was solid wood, wasn't it?
It must have been about 40 odd kilos, easy.
It was solid wood. It was massive.
Unbelievable. You can see it if you watch the highlights and you watch it, and you watch the players go along having a go lifting it up. You can see some of them struggling to lift it up.
Trev could have stood on Archie's shoulders and he still wouldn't have been able to see him behind it. It was tall as well, wasn't it? It was a huge thing. It was a massive trophy.
Go on, Butch, say it. Go on, say it, Butch.
But no, because what you're going to say here was it's not as big as your ears or something like that, was it? Because that was mentioned at the time as well, by the way.
I thought you were going to say on the same size as the trophy. That's what I thought you were going to say.
No, mate, I wouldn't say that to you.
I tell you, that's just serious for a moment. When I look back on my career, I had to finish early. I was 27 when I had to finish. But for a few years afterwards, I was pretty low, because I always envisioned that I'd be in my 30s by the time I'd have to pack in. But I can remember when I got a little bit older and I look back and I think that I was part of the team that was the first to win at Wembley, in 96. And then I was part of the team that the first time we were live on telly as well. And I was part of that, Yeah. So, and the back-to-back promotion part of that too. So when I look back...
Are you leading up to your goal at Burnley? Is that what you're leading up to?
No.
Just spit it out. No, just spit it out. It's fine.
I'll be honest with you, Butch, right? Everyone else mentions it to me, but that wasn't my highlight of my career at Rotherham. It wasn't. Like Wembley would trump that every day of the week. Every day of the week.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, mate.
Yeah. I mean, I played 201 games, and it was only when Les Payne rang me a few years when me, Roscoe and Butch, we joined up. I think it was 5 years ago now, lads. And he was the one who said 201 games. I was surprised it was that many, because I was only there for 6-7 years. But no, I look back and it is Wembley the one that stands out for me. I don't know whether it's the same for the two lads, but it is for me.
It is for me, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, without a shadow of doubt. Without a shadow of doubt.
It was 4.5 years for me, I think, at Rotherham, and that, as you say, will trump anything that I ever did in my career at Rotherham at that time. You know what I mean? It was a very, very special day with a very special group of players.
Yeah. Yeah. You were there 27 years, Butch, weren't you?
No, I was there 10. I was there 10, and it was head and shoulders above anything. Just talking about it now and turning around and saying I was part of the first group of players of Rotherham United that ever played at Wembley, and you guys are exactly the same. It does put hairs on the back of your neck, and you think, wow, when it's not the biggest club in the world, but it's a special club. You know what I mean? And to be first, one of the first players to play there is special. I mean, I walked out behind Clarkey on when the teams come out. So I was actually the first outfield player ever to walk on a pitch. but it was for me. It'll never be beat. For me, no chance.
Just to back that up as well. But I remember when we all came for the reunion, 20 years, and John Brecken said it. He went, "You lads are like record breakers. You are the lads that you'll go down in history for this club because you were the first team to go to Wembley and win a trophy."
Yeah.
And as Butch says, every team's got its own goals, hasn't it? And it's whatever league they're in or whatever. But that is an amazing feat. As you said earlier, that the types of crowds we were getting on average throughout the season to get 20,000. It was amazing, absolutely amazing for the players, for the town, for the club, for the fans, everything.
When I think back, I mean, I would say I was there 10 years, and the first years I was there was under Billy McEwan when they got promotion, and the crowds were good, but shortly after we went through a horrible spell, and the crowds just went, and I think it was mentioned earlier by Mick. I think it was something like 2,500 in certain home games, and you think, wow, then you take 20 odd thousand to Wembley. And everyone, and it's like, where did they all come from? So it just shows the potential that is there.
Yeah.
And to be fair, when we've been since then, it's been similar sort of numbers, maybe not quite as many.
I think 96 is a record for attendance for a Rotherham set of fans. I think that's the biggest ever group of Rotherham fans we've ever took to any game ever, which again is on the record.
I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah. For both of the playoff games, it's been less than 20. I think it might be 14 to 18,000, something like that. That was 20 plus that day.
And it was the old Wembley as well. Do you know what I mean? The Twin Towers. It was an absolute amazing for me as a professional football player, and probably Butch and Trevor as well. You've been to Wembley. You've been there. You've won. It was an amazing feeling.
It don't get any better, does it? It does not get any better.
I can also remember. I mean, Shrewsbury played Bristol Rovers in the Southern final, didn't they? And they beat Bristol Rovers. I wanted Bristol Rovers to win because they would have filled it.
Yeah,
Bristol's quite. And I think if I honestly don't think it would have mattered who we played. I think we would have won it. But if it had been a full I've been there when my mates played for Bristol Rovers and they took 40,000. So if you think 40,000 Bristolians and 25,000 Rotherham fans, if there'd been 65,000 there, what would that have been like?
Yeah. Couple of years later, when I was playing for Exeter, I played with John Cornforth and Kwame Ampadu, and the year before in '95, Swansea had won it, and they'd filled it. So it was that getting back to the under 21s and that playing in this format now. Yeah. If you'd have kept it the way it was every club's cup final to get there in the lower leagues. You know what I mean?
I'm going to ask you a question then, Ross. Say next year, Man City under 21s get to the final against Newcastle under 21s. How many's going to be there? How much interest is there going to be?
Well, that's it, isn't it? That is exactly what you don't want. Yeah, you want a league club to be there, a first team and a league club.
And touch wood up to now, every single year it has been league clubs that's been there. There's been no under 21 team that's getting there. And I don't think they want that.
No.
I mean, I was there 2 years ago as a Sunderland fan when there was 85,000 against Portsmouth.
Yeah.
85,000 people at Wembley in a Papa John's or whatever they called it now. They don't really want. I personally don't think they want the big clubs to get there.
No.
Because I don't think it does the competition justice.
No, definitely not.
And it's
couldn't agree more.
You want your lower league players to have the dream of playing at Wembley, and like we were fortunate to get it, and you want to give everyone that chance.
Yeah. Finish off because we've gone a long time. We've really enjoyed this. So I don't know about you, Mick, but I've enjoyed it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Your stuff from the day. So your it wasn't a medal, was it? It was a little trophy you got. And have you got anything from the day, Andy? Start with you. Where's your stuff you got from the day?
We got a little miniature version of the big trophy, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how the other lads are, but the labels fell off on mine.
Oh dear. Yeah.
And you've got keepsakes that you keep, and I wasn't one really for a lot of like sentimental stuff. I've got the programs. I've got a few paper cuttings. I've got quite a few photographs because Jerry Summit and Les Payne were very good to the players. Toward the end of every season, there'd be a brown envelope with your name on it, no money in it. But there'd be a shed load of black and white and colour photographs, action shots from all the games that season.
Yeah.
So I've got piles and piles, and you know what I mean. Have you still got them, Trev? I've got two of you. How two of yours ended up in mine?
I don't know.
Did you get one of them curly wigs?
I've got the scarf. I've got the scarf, and I've got a hat and a flag.
I got a curly wig, Trev, didn't you? My trophy. I gave my trophy to my dad about 10 years ago because my dad's a carpenter, he's a chippy, and he said he was going to do a really nice board, and so I can hang it up in my office here. And 10 years ago this was, lads, right? So I mean, I'm still waiting for the crib for my 21-year-old, by the way. Right, so yeah, but he's got my trophy from that day. He's got the second League 2 and 1 the trophies, and my shirt from Wembley, and my shirt with 23 with Berry on the back, and my England youth shirt. And he's got all these, and he's going to put them in a frame for me. 10 years ago, I've been waiting. I'm still waiting. So
Well, I've got news for you,
I might
Trevor.
make you
They're
listen
never
to-
coming back.
No.
Your dad's got him in a lovely frame in his workshop there, so he can look at what his son is doing.
Yeah. You're not wrong. What about you?
How about
Brooks?
you, Neil? I know you said before. We said before you've still got your kit, haven't you? With still the stains on.
Yeah, the kit's upstairs underneath the bed. That's not going to move. That's going nowhere. To be fair, that's pretty much all. I mean, it wasn't about the trophy for me, and I'm sure Ross and Trevor will agree. Like, it wasn't about the trophy. They could have given us a black plastic bag or something, whatever. It wouldn't have mattered. We were just so pleased to be there and to win it. Like, you know what I mean? It wasn't about what trophy we got. We've mentioned it before. The trophies are great when you get them originally, but you get a lot, don't you? And you think, well, it's about the memory of it. It's about the memory of the day and the memory of the 3 or 4 days we had around it, and what followed it after that. I mean, because I remember the first game back, we played Stockport, didn't we? And we showed the trophy, and it was like it was a full house at Millmore, and that wasn't normal, to be fair. and it was we brought the trophy back, and there was just like such a good feel good factor about it. It was we've done it, and we're just so proud of doing it.
Yeah. Just a question I got asked the other day. Right, when did we lose 7-0 to Wrexham?
I didn't play that, by the way.
It's the heaviest defeat. I can't remember. Can you remember, Ross? Was it before or after the cup final?
The following year, mate.
Was it the following year? Oh, well, yeah, that's my memory. You know what my memories are like, lads. So it's the next season. I think. Fair enough.
It was,
if you remember,
I remember that.
Archie and John didn't stay too long after the start of the following year, did they? I think it was only six games in that they got the sack. And I remember John talking to me in the gym saying we'll not last long here. And I'm thinking, how can you say that? You just won a trophy. Yeah. You just took thousands of people to Wembley. You just made the club loads of money, and you talk about it was a case of they'd done what they had to do, and somebody wanted them out. Which for me I found horrible.
Yeah, brilliant replacement as well, wasn't it?
Oh. Wow,
it's my favourite friend. Ross, actually, to be fair, Ross, you had a brilliant season. That year. You got player of the year that year.
The thing is, as well, though, when you're having a bad year like that, right? Anyone can stand out, because we were terrible for that season. There was no hiding the fact, you know. And so was Shrewsbury. The two teams that were at Wembley the year before both got relegated that following season.
Yeah.
But
I just thought, Ross, I thought it was just as if somebody had pulled a plug on the club after, and like took all the air out of what we'd achieved.
Yeah. Well, players moved on, didn't they? They sold players, and players moved on. Clarkey, Goats, and they weren't replaced really properly, were they? Do you know what I mean?
No.
They were
when
big
players. Chris Wilder leave.
Chris wasn't there, was he?
January, wasn't it? The January of that year that we went to. Yeah.
So you know, the two big players went there. You know. The old adage down the spine of your team, your goalkeeper, your centre forward. You know what I mean? Your goalie who saves you 20-odd goals a season, and your centre forward who scores you 20-odd goals a season.
Yeah, there you go.
Plus Gemmo went back as well, didn't he? Gemmo.
Yeah.
Where did Gemmo go? Did Gemmo actually go to Shrewsbury, or did he go to Notts County after that?
I think he went to County.
I thought he got to Shrewsbury.
Did he go straight to Shrewsbury?
I'm not sure. He certainly ended up there, didn't he? Not long afterwards.
Yeah, as you say. You lost your two strikers. You lost your goalkeeper. It was like, and they weren't replaced properly.
Yeah. I still think if Archie would have been given the season, we would have been okay. I honestly do.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
You know, we weren't privy to the talks that was going on between the managers and the board and stuff. But for them to go the way they did, and then players to be sold. Maybe they didn't want them to be sold. Maybe they wanted to hold on to them, or maybe they weren't guaranteed whatever
on the back
transfer kitty off the sales off the back of it.
Yeah,
you're not going to be a rocket scientist. You know what I mean? It won't be far from that.
Yeah.
Which is sad, really, because we could have kicked on from that season.
Some real quality in that side. Some real quality. You're absolutely right, and it is a shame. It's a crying shame, but
by November, I'd been loaned out to bloody Exeter. They couldn't have sent me any further away.
I
got loaned out to Exeter.
Do you know what? Looking back, though, I mean, what I've seen at the development of Rotherham United, it's all good. I mean, we had one bad season when we went down, but I think nearly all the seasons after. I mean, even this year when we went down, do you know what? We were so unlucky. We didn't deserve to go down this year. You know, I mean, it was literally down to the last flipping 5 minutes of a game, wasn't it? Right at the end of the season. But I just think
still hurts.
It still hurts. I know. Yeah, I know. But I just think that with the new chairman and the new ground and the way the team is, I mean, 5 years ago when we come back, I mean, it was the first time back for over 10 years, 15 years. And I don't know whether you've been back, Ross, but I was amazed by the quality of the club and how much it's improved. So, you know, I still look back and think that it could have been kicked on from where we were. So, you know, it's just gone stronger and stronger. Even though we've gone down this year, I think we've bounced straight back.
Yeah, I agree. It's just, it's heartbreaking, isn't it? You know.
Yeah, I mean, as a season where we've only got ourselves to blame, unfortunately, in terms of the chances that we'd not taken all season long, and it's just we needed to convert more than we have done. We created loads, didn't convert anywhere.
It's difficult. It's difficult to pinhole it down to the last game of the season. You've got to go to Cardiff, you've got to go and get a result. It's accumulation over the season, as you say. It's a lottery if it comes down to the last game of the season. Yeah. But it never lies the table. It never lies, unfortunately.
I think the games in hand actually went against us. I think that was
so close together.
Yeah. I think that was a clincher for me. But
I was able to go through a few of the games with the scouting and all that, and you lose the games by one goal. There's only one goal in these games. I remember the Reading game and things like that. And you kind of think Reading are a better side, but you lose by one goal, and you think they could have easily gotten something from that game. And other games, they were always in a game. They were never far away from the game, and it was just like fine margins. You've heard it so many times.
Yeah,
a defender not clearing a ball or a striker just half missing a chance, and it's a simple thing, and but it's so important.
No,
well, I'll just comment on what Trevor said as well. To go back 5 years ago for that 20-year reunion, to see the setup, way that club is now and the way it's run, it's absolutely amazing to see. And I'll back Trev. Yeah, I fancy them to come back straight back up next season.
Yeah,
they'll come second behind Sunderland.
There's an ex-Rotherham player playing in the Euros next week. Who's that?
Come on, Matt, that's yours.
Should be my area. I don't know. You got me on that one.
Centre forward for Wales.
Oh, Keith
Moore.
Yeah.
Matthew.
Well done, Trev.
Yeah, that's big, great. I mean, look, that's it. They were playing. He got man of the match, I think, that day, didn't he?
Yeah.
When we weren't there, he was brilliant. Yeah.
Good quality for us, Keith Moore. He's a quality player. To be fair, he's everything. It seems like a defender's worst nightmare. He's got everything to cause a defender problems.
It's like looking in a mirror. He's 6'5", isn't he?
The one at the fun fair. The one at the fun fair, Trevor.
That's the one, Russ. It's been a pleasure, lads.
Totally.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing this.
You know.
I didn't go to the game, but I grew up on the Legend of '96, and that is genuinely true. I had posters on my wall, and it was a fantastic legacy that you guys left and the whole team have left. Mick, do you want to final say as a fan? I'll let you finish off.
Just thank you. From all of us, in all seriousness, you know, from Rotherham supporters, from then and since, just thank you, because it was. I know it was special for you guys, but it was just as special for the rest of us as well. Fabulous achievement.
Yeah, it's a memory I'll never forget.
From the players' point of view, Mick, I think we need to say thank you to you guys as well. I know us three and Darren Garner used to knock around a lot around town, and we always used to get really good feedback from the supporters and all that. And without you guys, we wouldn't have done it. It was the whole thing was a team thing. I mean, we said it before: 25,000 Rotherham fans to be at Wembley for the first time ever we had to do it for you guys, and hopefully that's what we did.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
wonderful.
And good luck, you two.
Totally agree with that, Butch.
Yeah,
that's the way I see it. We couldn't have done anything without the supporters either.
Yeah, brilliant. Right, thank you everybody, and thank you. I really appreciate you guys doing this. It's been fantastic. Thank you very much.
All right, lads. Take care, Butch.
Okay,
Thanks, everybody. Speak soon. Take care.
Take care, fellas.
Proud moment for Matthew Clark, born in South Yorkshire, the captain of Rotherham United, and he makes the walk up the stairs and along the royal box, and Matthew Clark will receive from Jeff Hurst the auto windscreen shield won by Rotherham United. It's taken over 100 years in doing, but they have a trophy to cheer.